depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, well, we've got to have a chat about Pokemon Masters. You see, Pokemon were very nice today. They gave us a bunch of new information about the upcoming mobile game Pokemon Masters, and I thought, right, well, let's have a look at what we know, have a chat about how excited we are, and maybe do a little bit of speculation as to what we don't. Now, what was kind of cool is that the video opened up with, I don't know, like inspirational quotes, history, call it what you will, from Ken Sugimori. For those that don't know, Ken Sugimori, he draws the stock art for all Pokemon and trainers, and the main promo image that has been used for Pokemon Masters was drawn by Ken Sugimori, so yeah, he's a bit of a big deal, I suppose, when it comes to the whole Pokemon thing. Now, the first slide came up, the relationship between Pokemon and their trainers. With the help of a tool called a Pokeball, the relationship between creatures, Pokemon, and humans is strong in the world of Pokemon. Regardless of their age and gender, people can manifest great power through their connections with Pokemon. For both humans and Pokemon, being together is the most important thing. How lovely! And then it went into Pokemon trainer characteristics. Trainers have preferences of type, colour and shape that influence how they choose their Pokemon. Each trainer wears clothing that matches their region's climate. Which seems silly, right? Because if you go to a colder region, surely you need warmer stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. For example, Erica, who is a gym leader from the Kanto region, looks like she could teach flower arrangement, so doesn't it seem like she would like grass Pokemon? I hope the fun of collecting not just Pokemon but also different kinds of trainers will bring new depth to the world of Pokemon. And that really does seem to be at the heart of Pokemon Masters. It is not just about collecting and battling with Pokemon, it is about collecting and battling with trainers. That's the hook here. The hook is, let's collect trainers. Now, that seems like we're heading towards a gacha game. I mean, look, Pokemon does lend itself to that, I suppose. In terms of a gacha game, what we're generally talking about is a game with a bunch of stuff, and you can randomly open up things to get the stuff. Think like Loot Crate. So, for argument's sake, Dragalia Lost, another Nintendo mobile game. Well, that's actually gotten really good lately. The pull rates, the drop rates, call them what you will, have increased greatly. But it basically means that you wait time or spend money to get chances to get what you want. Now, some countries have already started pushing back on loot crates and things of the like. But that does seem like where we're going with this. Now, the thing is, we were not given a huge amount of detail or information. We don't know if there is a progression, and as you go through, you unlock different Pokemon and trainers. To be fair, that is how Pokemon Shuffle worked. Pokemon Shuffle, there are a series of stages. You clear the stage, you essentially open up the Pokemon. So there is no random element there, although that game, and I've said this before in some of my videos, that game really put me off because it gets to the stage where you basically need to have boosts in order to clear the stages, and to get the boost you either wait lots of time or spend a bunch of money, and I got priced out of Pokemon Shuffle because I wasn't willing to spend the money. This seems like it's going to be more of a gacha game, although to be clear, that is nothing but reckless speculation on my part. That has not been confirmed. But you get the trainers, and essentially there are pairs of trainers and Pokemon. They're referred to in the game as sync pairs. And if you have a look, there was a really long animated trailer, long compared to the length of the video anyway, and they showed off a whole bunch of them. But we also saw a bunch of them in the original artwork. So we know that there's Cynthia, and Cynthia comes along with Garchomp. Which shouldn't surprise you, there is a Pokemon card, which is Garchomp, that actually gives you a bonus, essentially, if you played the Cynthia card that turn. Similarly, we see Steven and Metagross, which again shouldn't particularly surprise you. There was a Metagross card that let you use Steven's without ending your turn, whereas that card usually would. Lance comes along with Dragonite, and okay, we've not seen the same thing, but we do see that there is a Lance card which is really good at helping you get your Dragonite out. We see the pairs you're supposed to to see. But it seems to really be going around a bunch of games. One of the pairs shown off in the trailer, which I don't believe was hinted at before, although please correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong about this, was Corinna and Lucario. Will there be Mega Evolution? I mean, in X and Y, the whole point of Corinna was to come along and show you Mega Evolution using her Lucario. So every trainer has just one single Pokemon. That's the deal. One trainer, one Pokemon. But then you form into a team of 3. So you've got a team of 3 humans, each of which has one Pokemon, all of their very own, to go and have a run around and a play around with. And that's essentially how you build your team. Now, we're not in any of the previously shown regions, previously used regions here. We are on Paseo, which is an artificial island. Somewhere in the Pokemon world. They seem to be distancing themselves from the regions a little bit and basically saying, look, it's a little island off to the side. That's where this is happening. Don't worry, it's a bit of a side thing. And the goal here, nice and simply, is to try and win the Pokemon Masters League, which I suppose does refer back to the name. Although, to be clear, the whole Masters in the name is because you're recruiting gym leaders and Elite Four and even Pokemon League champions from throughout the years of Pokemon, throughout the regions, throughout the history, and frankly, yeah, I think Masters probably an appropriate title. Now, in terms of gameplay, we were not shown a huge amount, but we were shown that there is a move gauge which basically fills up over time and allows you to attack. It is a game that takes place in real time. Of course, if you compare that to the mainline Pokemon games, they are still very much a turn-based affair, whereby you all select your moves at the beginning of the round, and then, or beginning of the turn, whatever you want to call it, and then the Pokemon move according to their speed stat. But this is in real time, it's in 3-on-3, you've got a move gauge, and you've also got a sync gauge, and basically sync gauge leads you to, well, really powerful moves. Now, they did show a couple of these off in the trailer, and it seems to be with the sync gauge that we really are playing around with, well, the trainers and the Pokemon working together. So we saw Rock Solid Rock Slide, Give It All You Got Power Up Punch, and Never Ending Royal Nightmare, just as a couple of examples of the kind of things that we saw in the trailer. But it's not just the Pokemon. Trainers can use their moves as well, and basically trainers use moves to heal and to raise stats. It's going to be interesting to see if they'll also be able to lower the stats of opposing Pokemon. Generally, these status moves, I mean, look, if you're going through, just running through the story of a Pokemon game, if you're anything like me at least, you ignore the status moves and just try and smash as hard as you can. But then we get into more competitive, more serious Pokemon, and status moves become fairly important. Well, here, these status moves, the healing, etc., they are done by trainers sitting at the back. I want to know if you're going to be able to lower stats. Now, they did specifically in the trailer refer to raising stats of your Pokemon. I want to know if you can lower stats of your opponent's Pokemon. And the good news is, it is due for a Summer 19 release. Now, I don't know about you, but as far as I'm concerned, summer is June, July, August, and then autumn is September, October, November, winter is December, January, February, etc. Now, as I record this, we are right at the end of June, so as far as I'm concerned, that means Pokemon Masters is going to be coming out in the next 2 months. And they did confirm that it will be coming out on both iOS and Android. It's going to be on the Apple App Store, and you're going to be able to get it over on Google Play. So it's coming out for everything, unlike Pokemon Rumble Rush. Still a little bit bitter about this. I'm optimistic about this game. This game looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I adore the idea of meeting up with trainers from years past. I love that you're going to be able to bring in these trainers with their signature Pokemon. And the graphics, it looks really good for a mobile game. But what I will tell you is this. The entire game, my enthusiasm for it, and frankly, probably most other people's, is going to come down to the monetization. Personally, I would love a Mario Run style game, where it's just pay once, boom, you've got the whole game. Nintendo did that once, I don't think we're going to see it again. It just needs to be sensible. Maybe a Pokemon Quest style where you can play the game for free, or you can pay a one-off fee to open up all the extra stuff in one go. I'd be fine with that. But if it's a game that's going to make me wait ages to play it, or hinder my progress, or I pay lots of money, I'm going to lose patience with it rather quickly. Fingers crossed that's not what it is. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we know of a healthy dose of speculation and discussion. But I would very much like to know how excited you are for Pokemon Masters, so please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice, and then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about games that don't even have Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.